Python just hit its highest ranking in history, number 1, by the widest margin ever recorded. So here is a genuinely strange question. Why is every serious AI team quietly rewriting Python out of the parts that matter? Because Python was never really doing the work. It is the steering wheel. The engine underneath is being swapped out right now. When you train a model in Python, Python barely runs. It hands the real math to C, C++, and CUDA. That is the whole trick. Do not take my word for it. Type pip install polars, and you just installed a big pile of Rust. Rust already ate Python from the inside. Your linter, your installer, your data frames, Rust, quietly today. And Mojo is coming for the one piece Python could never touch, the GPU code itself. Here is the tell that this is real. A chip giant just paid almost $4 billion for the company building it. Even Python blinked. The gill, the lock that hobbled it for 30 years, is finally being pulled out. Two forces, one story. Rust from below, Mojo from the engine room. Let me show you the whole thing. First, some fairness, because I actually love Python. It won AI for real reasons. It reads like plain English, it glues every tool together, notebooks let you poke at data live, and every library you have ever heard of speaks it. Nobody sane wants it gone as the front door. But that friendliness has a bill attached, and the bill is speed. Pure Python is slow, often 25 to 100 times slower than C on the exact same loop, and independent 2026 benchmarks still put the raw gap around that. For a web app, you never feel it. For AI, where you multiply billions of numbers, it is a brick wall. Then there is the GIL, the Global Interpreter Lock. One thread running at a time, no matter how many cores you paid for. Buy a 16-core CPU, and stock Python will cheerfully use exactly one of them, while the other 15 sit there doing nothing. And it was not laziness. The GL is what kept all those fast C extensions from corrupting each other in memory. Python bought its legendary simplicity by handcuffing itself to a single core. For 30 years, that quiet trade held the entire ecosystem together. And here is the tell from inside Python itself. In version 3.14, shipped last October, the no-GIL build became officially supported. Not an experiment anymore. But every C extension has to be made thread-safe by hand, so the real migration is a decade of work. That is not a feature. That is an admission the old model broke. So the ecosystem cheated brilliantly. NumPy, PyTorch, TensorFlow, the second the work turns heavy, it leaves Python entirely and drops into compiled C++ and CUDA. The library you call PyTorch is over 90% not Python. Your code just points at the data and waits for the answer. This pattern has a name, the two-language problem. You prototype in the easy language, then rewrite the slow guts in the hard one. Two languages, two skill sets, two codebases that drift out of sync the moment you look away, and a wall in the middle where every bug likes to hide. And that fast layer underneath? For 15 years, it was mostly CUDA, which runs only on Nvidia and which you cannot read, fork, or fix. So Python handed you total freedom on top, sitting on a locked black box you were never allowed to open. Freedom rented on a leash. Which brings us to the quiet revolution. While everyone online argued Python versus Rust like you had to pick a team, Rust just walked in the side door and started replacing Python's plumbing, one boring, essential tool at a time. No press release. It just started winning. And why Rust, specifically? Because it hits a rare trifecta. It runs at C speed, it refuses to let you corrupt memory, and, the killer feature, it bolts onto Python almost effortlessly. A tool called Py03 lets a Rust core hide behind a normal-looking Python package. You pip install it and never know. The clearest case is a company called Astral. They took Python's slowest, most hated tools and rebuilt them in Rust. Their linter, Ruff, replaced Flake 8, Black, isort, and a pile of others, a dozen tools folded into one, and it is not a bit quicker. It is 10 to 100 times faster. How fast is that really? Ruff can lint the entire CPython codebase, hundreds of thousands of lines, in well under a second. The old Python-based tools took most of a minute to chew through the exact same files. Once you feel that, there is no going back. Then Astral did it to pip. Their installer, UV, folds pip, virtualenv, and poetry into one Rust binary, and it resolves and installs a whole environment 10 to 100 times faster. It went from a curiosity to the default in about a year. Use it once, and going back genuinely feels broken. Remember that pip install polars from the intro? Polars is a full pandas replacement written in Rust, built on Apache Arrow with a lazy query engine. It is routinely 10 to 20 times faster on real data, and it stays calm on files big enough to make pandas run out of memory and quit. And it keeps spreading. Pydantic, the validation layer that Fast API and half of AI tooling lean on, rewrote its core in Rust for version 2. Or JSON, the fast JSON reader, Rust. Hugging Face is Tokenizer, the thing that feeds text into every single model, also Rust. Step back and the pattern is almost funny. More than a dozen of the tools a Python AI developer touches every day now have a Rust heart, installers, linters, data frames, parsers, validators, serializers, same friendly Python on top, Rust doing the actual labor underneath. It is even creeping into the models themselves. Hugging Face built Candle, a machine learning framework in pure Rust shaped like PyTorch. Burn is another one. The idea used to be heresy. Train and serve a real model with no Python anywhere in the loop at all. So here is the uncomfortable part. You already run Rust every single day. Every time you install a package, lint a file, or load a data film, Python is just the wrapper, and Rust is doing the work. Most developers never even notice the swap happened underneath them. But Rust does not fully solve one thing, writing the GPU code itself in a language a data scientist actually enjoys. Rust is powerful, but it is not exactly cozy. That gap is Mojo's entire reason to exist, and Mojo is not some weekend hobby project. It comes from Chris Lattner. If the name is new to you, he built Swift, the language your iPhone apps are written in, and LLVM and Clang, the compiler stack sitting under roughly half the software you have ever run. When this man says he is going to fix how we write code, you listen. The pitch is almost greedy. Write code that looks and feels like Python. Same syntax, same easy vibe, but compiles down to the speed of hand-tuned C++, running right on the GPU. The easy language and the fast language finally collapsed into the same language. How much faster? Modular's headline benchmark clocks Mojo at 35,000 times faster than pure Python. That is a cherry-picked micro-benchmark. Stay skeptical of the big number. On honest, real kernels, it lands more like 10 to 100 times, which is still the entire ballgame. Here's the part that matters for our story. One Mojo kernel compiles down to whatever GPU is actually in front of it, Nvidia or AMD. No rewrite, no second codebase. It does the exact thing CUDA refused to do, write the math once and run it anywhere, and it is not a slide deck promise. On AMD's MI300X, Modular stack pushed up to 53% more throughput than VLLM, the server everyone treats as the gold standard, and on another AMD chip it matched Nvidia's H200, one of the priciest accelerators made, token for token. And they proved the portability where it counts. One container image, the exact same code, deployed on AMD data center GPUs and Nvidia data center GPUs with zero changes. No CUDA port, no ROCm port. You swap the hardware underneath and the software never even notices. And you do not have to abandon your code. You call Mojo straight from Python and swap only the one slow hotspot for a fast version. It is not rip and replace, it is a turbo button, bolted onto the exact part of your program that actually hurts. Now the honest catch, because I will not oversell it. Mojo is young. It started life closed source. The tooling is still rough in places, and it does not yet have Python's 20-year mountain of libraries. This is a bet on where things are heading, not a finished product you deploy tomorrow. But then Modular did the thing that really twists the knife. They open sourced the core, over 450,000 lines of production GPU kernel code, out in the open, free to read and fork. CUDA is a black box you rent. This is the same class of software handed to you with the hood up, which is why the ending is so loud. Weeks ago, Qualcomm, a phone chip giant, bought Modular for roughly $3.9 billion. That is 2.5 times its valuation from only months before. When the hardware companies themselves pay $4 billion for a compiler, the bet is not subtle. Now let me talk you back down, because that title is a little unfair. Python is not going anywhere. You will still be typing Python in 2030. It is the interface, the glue, the first thing you reach for on a blank file. Nobody is deleting Python. That was never the claim. What is dying is a belief. The belief that pure Python does the heavy lifting, and that the fast layer must be an unreadable C++ and CUDA black box you cannot touch. That specific idea is what Rust and Mojo are quietly killing. Python becomes the friendly face on an engine you can finally open up. So should you care? If you only ever call an API, honestly, no. Enjoy the ride, nothing changes for you. But if you write the hot loops, the tooling, the kernels, the parts that quietly decide the bill, the ground is genuinely moving under you. Learn a little Rust, keep one eye on Mojo. Python built the AI era. It just is not going to run it all by itself anymore. If this reframed how you see your own stack, subscribe. This is where we take the hype apart and show you the receipts underneath.